Okay, boys and girls, so today I'm asking you to write a story about a kid in a sled. And I thought, well, let me show them what we would do in class. Because we talked yesterday about how a story has elements like characters and setting and events. And we need to tell our story in a sequence, beginning, middle, and end. So I thought I would just work along with you today. So if you have a blank piece of paper at home, that can be your planning sheet. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plan my story on this sheet. So I'm going to start with the character in my story. I'm just going to have one character. I ask you to write a simple story, so it doesn't have to be a big, long story. So on my paper, I'm going to start with writing the word character. And moms, dads, babysitters, whoever, you can do this plan sheet for your child, for your student. So let's see. It's about a kid in a sled. My kid is going to be a boy. So I'm going to give my character a name. I'm going to call him Tom. So Tom is the character in my story. I'm going to put that over there in the box. And now I want to think about my setting. Well, my story is about Tom and his sled, so he's going to have to be outside. But let's think a little deeper about outside. What's the day going to be like? It's going to be a cold winter day. It's not going to be nighttime. It's going to be in the daytime. And it's going to be cold and it's going to be winter. It's going to be icy. So I'm kind of thinking about how the weather is outside today. Icy and cold. It's going to be a lot more fun to sled on ice than it is snow. Did you ever think about that, guys? Now, the events. So I'm going to have over here a B for the beginning. Then I'm going to draw me a box for the beginning. I'm going to put an M for the middle. What's going to happen in the middle of my story. And then the end. Okay. So, Tom is going to... and I'm not going to write complete sentences in these boxes. These are just going to be my events, my ideas that I will then turn into complete sentences. Remember, writing takes time. It's a slow process. It's not something you're going to rush and get through real fast. So let's see. So Tom is going to wake up. Get dressed. In winter clothes. So he's going to have to wear, warm stuff. I might mention hats and gloves, a coat in my sentence when I write that. Then he's going to go outside with his sled. And I'm going to give you a little detail about his sled. It's going to be a plastic, round sled. So it's one of those saucer type sleds. Okay. He's going to be at the top of a hill, top of his driveway. So he's going to start at the top of his driveway. He's going to start at the top of his driveway. In the middle, he's going to slide down down the driveway. And let's see, something's got to happen to him there. So he's going to slide down his driveway and crash into the trash can that's at the bottom of the driveway. He's going to slide down the driveway and crash into the big trash can. And that's going to kind of hurt. His nose starts to bleed. He leaves his sled and goes inside. Okay. And who's going to be there to help him? Dad. Oh, so then look at there. I just put a new character in our story. I get to go back up here and add Dad. Dad's going to be one of the characters in my story. He's going to help Tom. Dad puts an ice pack on Tom's nose to stop the bleeding. Said I wasn't going to write in complete sentences, but I have. Tom plays his video games. Okay, so there it is, guys. There is the plan for my story. Before you start writing your story, it would be a good idea to tell your story to mom or dad or babysitter or whoever is helping you, and let them maybe write down everything that you say, and then that will help you when you go to write your own story. So my story would sound like this. One cold winter day, Tom wakes up and looks outside and sees the ground is covered in ice. He wakes up, he gets dressed in his warmest clothes, his hat, his coat, his gloves, his boots, and he goes outside and he gets his plastic round sled. He looks around to find a good place to slide down, and he sees the driveway. It's a big hill, and it looks like fun to slide down that driveway. So Tom sits down on his sled and he slides down the driveway and crashes into the big trash can. His face hits the trash can and his nose starts to bleed. He leaves his sled at the bottom of the driveway and he makes his way back to the house, and Dad puts an ice pack on his nose for it to stop bleeding. And then Tom decides, I'm not going to go back outside. I'm going to play my video game. Tom spends the rest of the day inside. And that's my story. So you work on your story. If you don't get it finished today, hang on to it. Work on it probably again tomorrow. I don't know. Send it back to school with you and we can work on it at school if we go back to school tomorrow. Bye, boys and girls.